Hey Lior, could you please present yourself?
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Yael. My name is Lior Romanowsky. I'm the CEO and founder of Spartans AI and Gen AI. We do a lot of things in the world of artificial intelligence and augmented reality. Had the pleasure and chance to work with numerous Fortune 500 companies. That's pretty much it.
I have a question that, you know that I'm in the blockchain world for many years already, and we saw, the rising projects through AI and blockchain and decentralized systems and cloud computing. How would you describe the state of now in AI?
Well, it is a great question. Well, first of all, it's exciting times for all of those technologies.
Yeah.
If we look at blockchain, we see a huge spike in kind of enthusiasm and number of ventures around it, and then we had a little bit of decline. But on the contrary, you see artificial intelligence that is basically blooming around the world. Anyone that is anyone in the technological world is now doing something with artificial intelligence. If it's the large FANG group in the Silicon Valley, you see Amazon, you see Netflix, you see Google, and also see a lot of talented people around the world and a lot of amazing startups around the world that are really focusing on what artificial intelligence can bring to the table. So exciting times, challenging times, because we're still in the point where we look at how artificial intelligence, how blockchain, in our fields by the way as well, can bring value to the table. And I think this is exactly where most of companies are really focusing on right now. How do I bring value with my capabilities, with my know-how in the world of artificial intelligence to the core business of the company?
What would be your first advice to a startup that is getting started with emerging technologies like AI?
Well, first of all, it's definitely challenging because identifying the point or the opportunity where you can really integrate emerging technology, it's challenging, and it's really a skill that you need to develop. Which means that, of course, you can look in any field and see, okay, how can I take artificial intelligence or maybe some other technology and implement it, but we really need to investigate deeply whether it's really required. Because in many times or many situations, companies or even enterprises, the largest companies in the world, are running forward without really any strategy or really understanding of how would they benefit from integrating those technologies inside.
Yeah, we're working currently with many corporations all around the world, and we're trying, actually to implement blockchain and AI.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you are working, right now on a case that is pretty trendy, but also very meaningful for the world. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Of course. So we had the great pleasure to collaborate with one of the leading companies in the world of medical cannabis. Medical cannabis is one of the hottest trends, or not trends, it's a growing industry that by a lot of smart people in the industry will be $140 billion industry pretty soon. So we are talking about taking technologies like artificial intelligence and blockchain and basically seeing how we can integrate it to the world of medical cannabis and how this industry can benefit from it. And through our collaborative work with this company, we really saw a huge difference with artificial intelligence and blockchain in this case that brought to the table. So it really was an amazing journey, and we're still in the process of making it. So I won't expand, not now at least, but it's definitely very exciting. It's two technologies that were three sectors or three categories that are being combined, and the results are amazing.
Fantastic. We have many vehicles today within, also the blockchain world and AI and machine learning. And again, I've been involved in many projects in the past few months, and we're looking forward, to implement new technologies, also with the cognitive side, in AR and VR. What would you can you tell us about the near future? What will be the state of the world? We see many companies involved in the AI. I know that only 10 to 15% of the global corporations are integrating AI. I'm looking for some points to connect a bit more the dots around us.
Right.
What is the state that within the next within the future?
Well, what we see, I can tell you personally, my company, Spartans, we see more and more willingness of really large enterprises to work with emerging technologies, and specifically artificial intelligence. Of course, also augmented reality, but we see definitely an open door in all the world of artificial intelligence. And statistically speaking, we're talking about already like 75% of the enterprises in the world that are talking about artificial intelligence. Maybe only 10-15% that are actually implementing, but the fact that they already have in mind those technologies and they're willing to explore them and they're willing to invest the funds that are needed in order to do this step. And moreover, I think that most of companies already are in a point of time that they understand that if they won't implement artificial intelligence today or tomorrow, they will be in a disadvantage relative to all the other competitors in their competitive environment. And that's kind of crucial.
What kind of industries can we focus on, do you think, in the automotive, cars, energy? What else do we have on the table?
Well, it's really fascinating, but if you look at the map of unicorns in the world, so you see several categories that are kind of repetitive. So of course, all autonomous cars and automotive in general. You have Uber, you have Lyft, other companies, Pony AI, of course, that are really doing an amazing job of integrating artificial intelligence in their business flow. On the other side, you have military implementations, you have retail. Pretty much like any category can basically benefit. It's really the question, where are the funds to invest in artificial intelligence and really identify where it can really bring value to my business.
I know that you have a product.
Yeah, we do.
Several, of course.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about Jenny?
Of course. So we have one of our sister companies is Gen AI, which is actually from the world of recruitment. We tackle the world of initial screening, which means that in many large organizations and large companies, one of our huge problems as part of the recruitment phase is that they have a lot of candidates. And once you have a lot of candidates, you have a challenge to really filter and identify who are the ones that I'm, as a brand, as a company, willing to spend the energy and time investigating, interviewing them, and spending really resources to identify if they're the best fit for me. So what we do, we utilize artificial intelligence, mainly machine learning and natural language processing, into this process. We identify who are the good candidates, who are not the fitting candidates, and so on. Everything is being done autonomously. And in the end, instead of just asking for a CV, we have a whole conversation with the candidate, understanding if it is relevant or not. And that's kind of our take on the world of recruitment.
Well, Lior, thank you for those insights. We'll meet in 2 days at the Future of AI conference here in Israel. And I look forward to having you more.
Thank you very much.
See you.
See you.